Imagine this. You are 400 kilometers above Earth, sealed inside a metal box with no way out. The ground is so far below you, it might as well not exist. There is no emergency exit, no window to break and jump through, no firefighter on the way. Just you, your crew, and the endless void pressing in from every direction. Then, over the intercom, one sentence cuts through everything. Fire. Fire on board. 3 words that every astronaut dreads more than almost anything else in space. In zero gravity,
ISS,
fire doesn't
Houston,
behave the way it does
2.
on Earth.
Seal the hatch in node 1
It doesn't
now.
rise. It
Copy,
doesn't
Houston,
flicker
I am
upward.
at the hatch.
It
Locking
crawls
it down,
silently
pressure looks stable.
in every direction at once, feeding on anything it touches. In this video, we are going inside what really happens when fire breaks out on the International Space Station, from the first alarm to last desperate decision. And how 6 people, sealed inside a metal tube 1,000 miles from any help, used everything they had to fight their way back from the edge. The International Space Station has been orbiting Earth for over 2 decades. It is the most expensive object humanity has ever built. Over $150 billion of engineering. Every single system inside that station is connected to every other. Air feeds pressure, pressure feeds temperature, temperature feeds power. Break one link, and the entire chain begins to collapse. The first sign that something was wrong came not from a fire alarm, but from an ordinary pressure sensor. The reading started shifting in a way that made no immediate sense. Down in Mission Control in Houston, flight controllers stared at their screens. Their first instinct was a faulty instrument, a bad reading, a sensor glitch. They were completely wrong. Within seconds, the
Commander,
data confirmed what
the drop
nobody
is finally
wanted to
flattening
believe.
out.
It is
Red
holding
text
steady
lit
at
up across every
0.85.
monitor on the ground. Atmospheric depressurization. The station was losing air. Stop for a second and think about what that means.
Pressure is
Not
holding
one
at standard
emergency,
atmosphere.
2 happening
Telemetry looks
simultaneously. 6
No
lives
microleakage
hanging in the
detected.
balance with
Seal
no
integrity
rescue
is
vehicle
confirmed.
close enough to matter. The air inside the station was slowly bleeding out into the vacuum of space. A fire on board, and now a hull breach. 2 catastrophic disasters colliding at exactly the same moment. On the outer hull of the station, a breach had been detected, invisible to the naked eye, just a few millimeters wide, smaller than a pencil tip. But in space, that is enough. A hole that small can drain an entire pressurized space station of breathable air in a matter of hours, and the clock, from the moment of detection, had already started running. The question was no longer whether this was serious. The question was where exactly was the breach, and how much time did 6 people have before the air ran out completely? It finally settled on 0.85 ATM, well below the minimum threshold the human body can safely endure for any extended period of time. The situation was now critical. Every breath inside that station was now a countdown. 2 astronauts began suiting up for an emergency spacewalk, moving faster than any drill they had ever trained for back on Earth. They went outside into the void with a handheld scanner and one single objective: locate the breach on the outer hull and locate it before the pressure inside dropped any further. Inside the station, the remaining crew and every controller in Houston counted each second in silence. Because in space, unlike anywhere else on Earth, there is absolutely no margin for a second mistake. The scan moved panel by panel across the outer surface. Slow, methodical, painstaking. One wrong connection on a spacesuit out there, one loose tether, and you simply do not come back. But this is the moment where the situation got significantly worse. What the scanner revealed next was something that even the most experienced people in mission control struggled to accept. The breach was not in an easy location. It was not somewhere accessible. It was in one of the most structurally complex and dangerous sections of the entire station to reach from outside. Hour after hour, the crew pressed on. Panels were opened. Wiring was checked. System after system was tested, ruled out, and tested again. The pressure gauge barely moved. One wrong move at any point in this process, one miscalculation, one slipped tool, and this mission would have ended in a way that nobody in that control room wanted to imagine. And then came the moment that the entire operation had been building toward. A panel was carefully removed, and on the surface beneath it was a label printed in plain block letters, Zone 4B. That single panel, that single label, would determine whether 6 human beings made it back to Earth or whether the station fell silent for the last time somewhere over the Pacific. Sealant was applied to the breach, carefully, precisely. Every eye inside and outside the station locked onto the pressure gauge. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. 0.85. Then the needle shifted. 0.88, 0.92, 0.96. The sealant was holding. The air was no longer leaving. The station was breathing again.
Pressure stabilized in the main limb.
Mission control erupted, and then just as quickly fell silent again, waiting for the final confirmation to come through on screen. And it did. All systems nominal. That night, 6 people proved something that most of us will never have to prove. That in the most hostile environment in human history, the right team, under pressure, does not break. The station is still up there right now, circling the planet once every 90 minutes, watching 16 sunrises every single day. If this kept you watching, hit like and subscribe, because space is as beautiful as it is merciless.